friend Chris Cicada.
I'm so sorry. That was me.
Okay.
I apologize.
It's never done that before for me when I record. Anyways, all good. Anyways, I am here with Chris Cicada, who is the artist lead and project lead for this round of Tele-Stories. And I have a couple of updates and questions, and then I'll let Chris share some of the exciting just sort of check-ins, what's going on. Um, the nature of this project being so remote and one-on-one, we don't necessarily get to know all of the great things that are happening until the end. So I'm glad we can meet before the end and learn a little bit more about that. But I did want to talk about the celebration. So the webinar we are having will be June 25th from 2:30 to 4. And I know I've sent that information out to some of you, but I do have a infographic, a little graphic to share and a blurb with the registration link. So I will share that with all of you after this meeting. And if you do have a chance, please spread the word and of course register. That will be featuring all 4 of the artists, where they'll each have time to talk about their personal experience, and they'll share the process and the creative gift output to honor the elders' participation in this project. We're also hoping to have 1 or more elder participants represented as well. That's TBD. And we'll have a small informal panel with some of the representatives from the aging services partners. So we will, that will be just a simple conversation with Chris. In this celebration, we like to give insight into all the different angles, right? There's a lot of people that are involved in making this project a success. So we want to make sure to highlight everyone's experience. And any questions right now about the celebration itself?
Sam, are you gonna resend the invite at any chance or any time?
Yes,
Okay.
I will.
Because my schedule has changed where now I can attend. So
Great.
yeah.
That's great. We'll also record it.
Okay.
We always record our webinars to share after the fact, even if you can just make it for a portion of it. But yeah, certainly I will send that after this meeting.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Also for our aging service partners, and we have some of you represented here, which is great. But we are asking that there is a follow-up call in the last 2 weeks, or the last week where the artists are not making calls, in the week after that, after the celebration. So that is from June 21st to July 2nd. We're asking you to reach out to the participants and ask them the post-loneliness questions, and just a couple of other general questions to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the elders. We do this with every round, just to make sure that, you know, if we're not meeting their needs, we need to change something. So it's been pretty positive in the past, but we want to make sure that we're continuing this progress. So those 2 weeks, we will ask you to do a follow-up call and get that information for us.
And I'll be interested, Sam, and you may do this already. If not, we can talk about this in the postmortem, but I'll be interested in checking back in with those older adults in about 6 months and in longer to see what what we wanted to make sure didn't happen. And one of the reasons we wanted to work with you and the ADRCs is because you're really cognizant of this. But what we don't want to have happen is engage a group of people, and so they're not feeling lonely and it's all good, and then it's okay, well, the project's done by.
Right.
You know, and there's crickets. So that's something for us to for sure check in with a little bit later. I did have one more question before we jump in with Chris and about the celebration, and that is, would you welcome comments or questions from any of the arts organization partners in the chat, or how do you envision or do you envision engaging the partners in that way?
I think certainly in the chat, Chris and I have some talking to do just with the general outline to make sure that we have enough time for if we were to add them to the panel. which I think could certainly happen. If not, we're also hoping to have a good 15 minutes of Q&A at the end. There's often lots of questions about this work, so we'll have time for it somewhere. I just need to work out the details on how that will look. Yeah, definitely. All right. And then that leads well into the, we're having a intro into creatively connecting with elders for artists. And that will happen Friday, July 16th, 9 to 10 a.m. I'll send more information about that. I need to create a little graphic for that too, so you can help spread the word. But we are hoping, while we can't do the full time slips training, we certainly can offer some of the key concepts that are used in time slips, some tips on how to use your creativity to inspire others' creativity, and just some general tips on how to positively and meaningfully connect with elders using the arts. So I will put that together for, again, Friday, July 16th from 9 to 10 a.m. And that is open to any artist that you think might be interested in that.
So Kathy Foley, that's that training that we were talking about earlier. It's morphed into that, which sounds like it will be doable. And Chris, will you be involved in that one too?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that one specifically, but
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, we don't have time for the full Tele-Stories training, because that takes us about 2 weeks to get them fully certified and to do all of the different additional steps to make sure they're really ready to connect with a more vulnerable population in this way. But I think they'll get a lot from the tips that we'll share. And of course, I'll position it as an artist working with elders, so it'll be a little more specific for their needs.
Sam, this is Kathy. Are
Yeah.
you going to send that invitation to everyone on the call?
Yeah, and Karen, if you could
Because
help me, there's some people not on the call that will need this too, but absolutely, I will definitely send that. I haven't created a little blurb for it yet. Have been focusing on the celebration, but I'll definitely send that to you as soon as possible.
And also, just to clarify, had there been an invitation for that celebration?
I had just, we sort of just finished it last week. So I'll put something in the chat right now, but I'm going to follow up with the graphic too. It just makes it easier to send.
Kathy, I'll get something out. Sam and I kind of miscommunicated on who she thought I had already sent it to. So you'll get it today for the first time, Kathy Foley. You will not have seen it before.
Also, Karen, so you know, it conflicts with the art museum directors. So I'll have somebody else involved here.
Yep, thank you.
Okay.
We'll be sure to record it for you, Kathy. It's always a challenge with these virtual events and having multiple artists, and yeah, it's
not a problem.
That's the time that they had been meeting weekly too, so it was easy for everyone to.
Perfect.
Yeah. I'm just putting the event listing here, but I'll send it if you're just really excited to register. That's a link that you can do so. But again, yeah, I will send that right after this call. And yeah, I think I am ready to hand it off to Chris for some of the fun updates. Chris?
No pressure at all. Here we go with the fun part, right? All right, my name is Chris Cicada. This is my year, the year of the cicadas coming out of the ground. So I was an artist as one of the callers last year in the Milwaukee phase of the project. So this is my experience doing that was what led to leading this time. So it's very, very interesting to be involved for the second time in the Tele-Stories project. It's a project that I love very much, and I really like the way that this phase is going. Right now we are on week 7, this is going to be the week 7 of calls. That means that the artists, so we have 4 artists talking to the elders, and you know all that, but this is going to be week 7, and next week is the last time that they talk to the older adults. And so they've had a incredible success rate of response, and I think we have you guys to thank for that. When we did Milwaukee, it was in the middle of the pandemic and the height of the pandemic, and still we couldn't get people at home for some reason. People wouldn't answer the phone as promptly as we got this group of callers to answer the phone. So it has been very, very, very nice. Everybody, all of the artists are talking to either 9 or 10 adults consistently. Have developed a rapport with all of them. We had in the beginning, some, monosyllabic, and like the answers weren't so elaborate, but then they found our ways. Apparently talking about food and gardening works a lot to talk to people in general, it seems, especially this time of the year. And they all found common ground, and they're all very chatty and talking to everybody right now. So this is like this part of the project. We're really, really happy. Nobody is having to hunt anybody down or call multiple times, or we don't have a feeling that none of the people involved are don't want to be doing this, because that would be frustrating, and it does happen. It would be understandable in such a large group of people if 1 or 2 people were like, but it actually has not happened. So part of the so we haven't started dealing with that, and I know we're going to deal with the end of the calls, which is hard for the artist, it's hard for everybody, but it comes with 1 week that they get to work in their creative gifts, which is a gift that they give to the the older adults and to the community, and those are coming along extremely well too. I don't know how much I can spoil, but I will anyway. So you guys, it doesn't look like people are gonna change their minds, but we have a book of poems. It looks like we have a book of drawings, like that would be like a zine, and it's themed around a house. So let's say they're talking to the people and they're talking about memories, and it has corners. So the cover tentatively is a door, and you open that door and you visit different rooms in this house where you find some of the bits and pieces of these conversations that happened. So that is a very, very beautiful project. Also, a drawing is a bigger drawing that has objects that come from different conversations, and that's kind of a collage, and it unites elements of all of the conversations. That one will have in the back, and each one of the callers will receive their own, and it will be almost like a Where's Waldo for the objects of the conversations they had. So that's a fun one too. We have a textile project that after each conversation, the artist is making banners with words that come from the conversation, and the callers are getting a photograph of this quilt-like project that the artist is even looking into putting into the Naville Museum. So this is something that may even extrapolate, the Tele-Stories project. So it's something we're really happy about too. So there's all these different things that are going on, and we're really happy about that. Um, Talking about the mood, just to give a sense of the mood uh, of the people receiving the calls, well, we have like a funny story of a person who does her hair and dresses up and cleans the house to receive these telephone calls, so I really like that story because, it's like, to me, the way my house is symbolizes the way I feel, right? So I think that that is a good, I like that. That is uplifting. We're talking with people with very different backgrounds. We have members of the Hmong community that has been really interesting, and learning about different culture. We had one call that the entire call was about how to process sugarcane manually, and in a lot of detail. So the conversations, these are meant to be creative conversations. They sometimes become memories, sometimes they become, our job as listeners. It goes where they are the captains of the ship, right? So it goes where they want it to go. But we're really, really, really happy with it. And it does seem like everybody is well advanced in their creative ideas. I think that we're going to start talking and selecting. I think we haven't, I only mentioned in passing about having callers participate in our webinar, but my impression is that we're going to have eager candidates for that. And I'm hoping that you can get a sense also from the other side, and I hope they have nice words too, like we have, yeah, and I'm sure they will. So that's my update. And does anybody have any questions?
I have a quick thank you. That was awesome. Jennifer, did you just unmute with a question?
I did. I don't have a question. I just have a comment that I just talked to someone last week that was involved with the project, and she's just so excited about it. And she looks forward to the calls each week from the artist, and was bummed that she couldn't talk to her artist last week. But she just really looks forward to those calls, and was a little nervous at first, she told me. In having the artist contact her, and she said, I don't always do good with, questions on the spot, but she said, oh my gosh, they're so easy to talk to, and she just has had a blast with it. So I just want to say thank you, and I thought I'd share that comment with you, Chris, that they are also enjoying it from what I'm hearing so far. So thank you.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. That's nice to hear. Now I'll tell the artist that too.
Yeah, great.
That's great. Is C. Zhang being the translator for the Hmong elders? And is it one artist that is working with the Hmong elders?
It is, each artist has one Hmong elder, and C is translating for all of them.
Great.
And it's very interesting because 3 out of 4 are doing things that are visual. And then we have the poet. And I think that C might do a little translation of a phrase or something, because to make it accessible, because one of the points is that the caller sees themselves in the art too, right? So I think that that's gonna be facilitated too.
Great. Thank you. That's great. I will reach out to her too, but I was curious. Other questions for Chris or Sam? And then I'm going to talk really quickly just about how to get the word out about this to the broader community.
I was just going to comment, I'm looking forward to the projects. They sound really amazing, and just, the array of number of projects that are being created. It's, I like the house, just kind of how the concept of that. So I'm really eager to see that one too. So thank you for sharing those. I know it might be a spoiler alert for some, but you still envision one thing, but you see a whole different other thing. So.
But then they're gonna have an experience similar to the callers, right? Because they're getting these teasers. They didn't
exactly
know what to be in the end.
Yep.
Great.
It keeps your mind going, and yes.
That's great. Hey, Shannon, from from the Institute's mailing list, is this something that you can send out to as many healthy aging resource organizations as possible so that they can jump on this celebration on Friday the 25th?
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I could work with our WEHA team and get it out to like our we have program providers and health promotion coordinator listservs that we can share
Great,
that out to.
thank you.
So yeah, that'd be great.
I'd also like to think about getting it into the hands of those who run the gerontology programs at the colleges and universities. And I'm not sure if there's a good list for that, or if I could just get a hold of Jen at Indian Head College, Technical College in Superior, maybe.
Yeah, I can ask Jane, but I think maybe we both should do the ask and just see what's available to share out.
Thank you. That'd be great. As
Yeah.
far and wide as possible, basically, is the point here. I know
So-
there are people from around the country who will be joining in and watching.
Okay.
I want to honor the time, but does anyone have any questions or ideas about spreading the word on this before we close down with gratitude for today?
I also wanted to share, I didn't clarify this before, but the elders will be receiving the gift, the physical copy of the gift. And of course, then the webinar is to share it with the broader community. And the artists are also seeking additional ways to share it with the community, like the installation in Neville.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but to put it back, it does all, again, put the elder first. So they get the physical copies, honoring their participation in it.
Thank you.
In case any of you are asked that, because I know last round, a lot of times people are eager to know when that will be coming, so.
Tim, from a community foundation perspective, as you look at serving the really broad region that you serve, if there are any arts organizations or projects that y'all have funded through our regranting partnership or other ways that you think you have a group that would be really interested in getting the word out. I know you've got Kathy right there, and she's the Lee Yawkey Woodson Museum is an amazing resource in and of itself. But yeah, just anything you guys can do to spread the word to the right folks, and the right folks may be everyone. I'm not trying to be exclusive here.
Yeah, and Karen, actually, I'm a part of the Isolation and Loneliness Coalition here in Wisconsin too, that I can share it with that group, and yep, they can definitely share it a lot further. So
great. I mean, I'd love to be able to share some resources after, maybe put in the chat or something, some way for people to connect more deeply, Sam, with time slips, with Tele-Stories, with work like this. And we have minimal grant monies for this kind of thing, but there are other resources out there, whether they are from the community foundations, whether they are from specific corporate giver, whatever. There's got to be ways to keep this conversation going. So
yeah,
Karen, this is Kathy. I'm thinking that it would be appropriate for me to forward the invitation for the 25th to those artists that I tried to recruit to consider applying. And I'm just thinking that going forward, there may be more opportunities, and some of those who expressed interest but were reluctant, either because it was unknown. I mean, that sort of like trepidation of, ooh, this sounds good, but I don't know if I'm the right person.
That's a great idea.
That if they would, and maybe others could do the same, if they would log on the 25th and then see how this would have been fabulous for them as well. So I guess my point or my question is, will that calendar invite for the 25th be forwardable?
Yeah, I'll send it without any introduction, so you can just send it. Yeah, that's good to know, Kathy. And I will say we're really rapidly trying to find additional funding for this program. We just started a group of 70 elders in Detroit. So we're really trying to expand this project. We're having a lot of success with it. And we do have a few requests in for even statewide for Wisconsin. That said, regardless of if we get that or not, I would love to stay in the loop with your artists. And even if they wanted to reach out to me so I can keep them on a list, if you know, it always helps if we do get that funding, or if we get some other funding and we are in need of artists, I would reach out to them, you know, first. So
Thank you.
yep.
Great. All right. Anything else for the good of the cause? Then thank you. Thank you, Chris, for joining us today. That was really exciting. Thank you all for making time for this. Thank you, Sam. We will see, you'll hear from us shortly, and we'll see you on the 25th. Great.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Great,
everyone.
thank you.
Have a great week.